Alright, let's go through the homework. We'll just hit a couple problems, not a whole lot of them, but some problems that should help you. So if you can do one of these, you should be able to do most of that section like this. So I'm going to pick out some key problems. I'm looking at number 14 would be a good one to go over. Let's take a look at this. It says the ratio of the measures of three sides of a triangle. We're talking about three sides of a triangle. Let me write that down. We're not talking about the angles. We're talking about three sides of a triangle. And here's the ratio. It's 3 to 7 to 5. Those are colons, dots. Okay, that doesn't mean that one side is 3, the other is 7, the other is 5. I mean, it could mean that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that at all. But they do tell you its perimeter, so let's write P equals for perimeter, is 156.8. 156.8, and that's in meters. So obviously 3 plus 7 plus 5, that's 15, does not equal 156.8. So it's got to be quite a bit larger. Each of those sides have to be bigger than this. So how do we find the actual measurements? Remember, this is 3 times a certain number, 7 times that same number, 5 times that same number. And if I add them all together, it's going to be 156.8. It's very similar to what we did on the example yesterday. So 3x plus 7x plus 5x. This represents exactly how much that one side is equal. This is the second side. This is the third side of my triangle. It's the actual measurements. The problem is I don't know what x is, but that's what we're going to work on. So that equals 156.8. Let's put the dot right there. Okay. So what do? Well, we solve for x. So let's do this. 7 and 3 is 10 plus 5 is 15. That's 15x equals 156.8. Let's solve for x. Divide by 15. Divide by 15. So x is equal to, I happen to have a calculator right here. Let's plug this in. So it's 156.8 divided by 15, and I get about 10.45. 10.453, and it repeats. Let's see. I'm not sure. I'm just going to go 0.45. Our numbers might be slightly different than the answers in the book, but it all depends on how you have to round, and they don't tell you exactly how far to round. Do they tell you to just make it 10.5? I don't know. I'll have to try it and see what the answers look like. But that's not my answer. We want to find the lengths of the three sides of the triangle. Now remember, this was one length, this was another one, that was another one right there. Well, the problem is I couldn't figure out what those lengths were until I found x. Well, I just found x. So let's plug this back into this. So one side is 3x, or 3 times 10.45. And let's see what we get. I'm just punching it into a calculator. 10.45 times 3, and that's 31.35. 31.35. I'm looking in the book. They say it's 31.4, so they just rounded that. I'm fine if you keep it like that. Okay? Let's do the other one. It's 7 times 10.45. Alright, so let's do that. So 10.45 times 7 this time, and that gives you 73.15. 73.15. Yep, and they say 73.2. They just took this and rounded it. Perfectly fine if you keep it either way. If you round it like they did in the book, of course, that's fine as well. Now let's take 5 and multiply it by 10.45. Alright, so I got 10.45 times 5, and that gives you 52.25. 52.25. And the book says 52.3. Again, that's fine. Right? If you wanted to check to see if they do add up to 156.8, we might be off a little bit because of our rounding, but we should be fine. Let me just do this real quick. 31.35 plus 73.15, and then plus 52.25. Okay, I did that all in my calculator, and I got 156.75. Well, it should come out to 156.8, but that rounds to an 8, so yeah, we're good, we're fine. So I can be pretty sure, I'm positive that these are the correct answers because they do add up to what our perimeter is supposed to be. So that's how you do it. That's how you do number 14. Let's do another one that was almost just like it, but I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, you know, some people are going to flip out when they see this because they see some fractions, and we never did the fractions. So, but it works out really the same way. I'm doing number 16. It says the ratio of the measures of three sides of a triangle. So again, we have the same situation, three sides of a triangle, but look at my ratios this time. It's 1/4 to 1/3 to 1/6. 1/3 to 1/6. It's a little different because they're fractions now instead of just regular numbers. And they even tell you the perimeter of this thing. The perimeter is 31.5. Now they ask for something a little bit different. This is centimeters. They ask for something a little bit different, which is the length of the shortest side. So find the length of the shortest side. I'll just write it down so we remember what we're trying to find. Okay, that's what we're trying to find, the length of the shortest side. Well, first of all, we're going to do the same exact thing that we did earlier. This is 1/4 of a number, 1/3 of the same number, 1/6 of the same number. So it's going to be 1/4 of x plus 1/3 of x plus 1/6 of x equals, now this is the length of one side of my triangle, this is the length of the second side, this is the length of the third side. All three lengths add up to be 31.5 because that's the perimeter. The perimeter means you add up all three sides and you get, in this case, 31.5. So on all these problems, you just go 1/4 x plus 1/3 x plus 1/6 x equals this thing right here, because all three of these lengths add up to be 31.5. Here's the part that's a little tricky. What we have to do here is we're adding fractions. I would rather you not use a calculator for this. Let's do this with common denominators. I got 4, 3, and 6. What number do all three of these, 4, 3, and 6, all go into evenly? That would be 12. I'm not going to do a lesson on that. You should know that. If you don't, then you need to look somewhere else. Look at Khan Academy. He does a whole thing on fractions. Now watch what we do. And you got an X on all of these as well. Okay, look. 4 times what is 12? 4 times 3. So you multiply the top by 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 4 is 4. 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 1 times 2 is 2. Alright, so look what we have. We got a common denominator. Let's write it a little bit nicer. Let's write it with one common denominator and add up all the numerators. I have 4x plus, got ahead of myself. 3x plus 4x plus 2x. That's 7 and 2 is 9, so that's 9x equals 31.5. Here's what we do on the algebra. This whole thing up top is being divided by 12. That's the first thing I'm going to get rid of. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 12. You should recognize that from Algebra 1. Multiply this by 12 and come over here and multiply that by 12 as well. So what do we have then? We got 9x equals whatever this thing is. And that comes out to exactly 378. How did I get it so quick? Well, I used a calculator before I started doing this problem. Alright, so that's how I know. And I divide by 9. And then x, if I do that division, it comes out to 42. Again, I plugged it into a calculator. Now, is that my answer just because I solved for x? No. What did they ask us to find? Find the length of the shortest side. Come over here. Look at these fractions. 1/4, 1/3, 1/6. Which one is the smallest? If I took 1/4 of a number, 1/3 of a number, or 1/6 of a number, which one is going to give me the smallest side? Well, the 1/6 is going to give me the smallest one. A lot of people don't see that because they think 6 is bigger than everything else, and it is. But when it's an inverse, this is the smallest. This is the smallest out of these three right here. So I want to find the smallest, or the shortest side. So what is it? It's 1/6 times x, right? That's my shortest side right there. Well, I just went through all that work to find x. It was 42. So it's 1/6 times 42. No calculator needed. Look, 6 goes into 6 once. It goes into 42 7 times. There it is. That's equal to 7. So the shortest side is equal to 7. Alright, I'm not going to do any from 17 to 20 because they're exactly what we did when we did the example. Okay, so it says the angles of a triangle, so you just take whatever numbers they give you, put an x in front and next to it, and then set it equal to 180, and then solve for x, plug it back in. It's the same exact thing. So I'm not going to do 17 through 20. You should be able to do that already. I will do one or two from 21 to 28. Let's see a good one. There's one with a decimal. So let's do that one. Let's do number 22. Okay, so here it is. It's W over 6.4, and that equals 1/2. So what we're going to do is, you could just multiply by 6.4, but just, I don't want to confuse you. We'll just do it like we normally do it. Let's just cross multiply. So it's 2 times W equals this right here, 6.4 times 1. Well, that's easy. That's just 6.4. Divide both sides by 2. Look how easy this was. No calculator needed. You can divide this by 2, can't you? 2 goes into 4 twice, into 6 3 times, so it's 3.2. That's all there is to it. That was pretty easy, even though it was a decimal. Let's do another one with a variable. Let's do 26. Alright, let's try this one. This is a plus 2 over a minus 2 equals 3 over 2. Tell you what, let's just jazz this up a little bit and just go with a different color. Alright, so what are we going to do here? Cross multiply again. Now you got to be careful when you cross multiply these. You got to make sure that you put a parentheses around this thing. So it's going to be 2, then a parentheses, a plus 2. It's very important that you do that. Same thing with this. I'm going to multiply this 3 by this thing right here. It's a sum, so I got to put that in parentheses. So it's a 3 times a minus 2. Scooch this up a little bit. Alright, now it's just a regular basic algebra problem. Distribute. We've done this plenty of times. You should be used to this now. And then distribute this. That's 3a minus 6. Let's do this. Let's subtract a 2a from both sides. I'm just going to do that so I keep the a positive. You could have subtracted a 3a and got a negative a. Alright, it doesn't matter. So that cancels out. I got the a on the right hand side, so let's get the numbers on the left hand side. That means I'm going to add a 6 here, I'm going to add a 6 here. So that'll cancel out. Let's see what we get. 4 plus 6, that's 10. What's this? 3a minus 2a is just a. There it is. A equals 10. That's all there is to it. Wow, it's not so bad. I like those, don't you? Let's do another one. I haven't used this color in a long time. Let's do 28 and we'll be finished going over this homework. So I've got 3x minus 6. This is pretty much the same thing as we just finished doing, but it's good to repeat it a couple times. So 4x minus 2 over 4. Alright, we cross multiply again. Cross multiply. Make sure you put that in parentheses. So it's 4 parentheses 3x minus 6 equals, multiply these together. Again, what do we do? This is the 4th time now in a row that we've done this. Well, yeah, 4th time, sure. So it's 2 times 4x minus 2. Alright, good deal. Distribute. 12x minus 24 equals 8x minus 4. Subtract. Let's get the x's on the same side. This time I'm going to put the x on the left hand side, because take the smaller one, move it to the side with the bigger one. It just makes it nice and easy because it comes out positive. I just like them positive if I can. Alright, that goes, and then let's get rid of the constant or the regular number, put it to the other side. So I add a 24 to get rid of that. That cancels. See what I get. 12x minus 8x, that's 4x. That went to 0. That went to 0. What's this going to be? It's going to be 20. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. X is 5. There you go. I think you should be good with that. Alright, now that we're finished this, I'm going to give you a worksheet to do. Actually, hold on. Let me double check to make sure that's what I'm going to do today. Yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm giving you a worksheet, so we're going to do worksheets, and it's section 7.1. Alright, now I'll have Mr. Childs read off the answers to the worksheet tomorrow, but I'm not going to do a video going over it. I'm actually going to do the next lesson. I'll do 7.2 tomorrow. So I will read off the answers so you know if you got the answers right. Now, look, if you got the answers wrong, you need to go back, because remember, you're not turning in the worksheet on Friday, because I want you to hang on to it until Monday. But after you read the worksheet off, you just check to see which ones you got wrong. The ones you got wrong, you need to go back and try to get them right again. All right? Talk to somebody else, look at the book, review the videos, do what you need to get the correct answers. Don't just sit around and just say, I got it wrong, who cares? All right? So work hard on this and try to get those answers right. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to do section 7.2. Be ready for that tomorrow. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.